Sanwanani Dumelang, and hello. Welcome to the Be Empowerment discussion brought to you by Letsatsi Finance and Loan. My name is Nobile Chabangu, and I'll be your host for today's session. We will be discussing various finance topics that affect women all over the world. And I'm joined by four powerful and amazing women who will be digging deep into these discussions for us today. If you would like to join the conversation, do join us on Facebook, like that page, and use the hashtag Financially Fearless Women. Now, to get into who these ladies are, I would like to give them an opportunity to introduce themselves, starting with Confidence.
Oh, thank you, Ngobile, for the opportunity. My name is Confidence Matlayela. I'm a key account manager here at Letsatsi Finance. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And our second powerful lady, Lerato.
Thank you, Ngobile, for inviting me. My name is Lerato, and I am a financial wellness coach. So our responsibility is to educate our clients on how to manage their finances accordingly and to be financially free.
Thank you so much. Lesego, how are you doing?
Ngobile. So my name is Lesego Nyakalo. I am from the credit repair department. We actually assist clients in repairing their credit reports.
Thank you very much. And last but not least, we have Miranda.
Hi, thank you for the opportunity. I'm happy to be here. I'm Miranda. I run the company Blue Ocean Collection Services. We collect delinquent debt for Letsatsi Finance.
Thank you so much. So, without any further ado, let's get into our topic. Our first topic for today is empowerment. One thing I know about empowerment is once you have it, it changes your life. So, Confidence, tell me, what is empowerment and what does it mean to you? And how is it affecting your life today?
When you're empowering a woman, it's very important to do so, as you know that you are making a bigger decision for women to make sure that they can stand for themselves. As you know that women are running their households, their careers at work, place whereby maybe they own in position like I do. You need to make sure that you have self-confidence, and then if you're not empowered, unfortunately, you cannot lead from the front. And when you empower a woman, it's something like in a financial institution like us, you empower a woman to make better decisions, whereby they need to understand what decision they need to make in connection with their finances. Also at home, you know, when at home you need to buy groceries and everything. Yeah. Women need to know the budget. Yeah. You know, yeah. We need to, and if a woman or maybe if a home in a household we don't have kind of women to make kind of decisions, and then we suffer consequences whereby no one is budgeting for the family to see that everything are paid, groceries, lights, electricity, things like those.
I hear you, and all I'm hearing right now is that there's a lot hanging on women's shoulders. So with the empowerment, how exactly do they get empowered? Because they're trying to empower everybody else, like you're saying, in the household, even in business. How can I, as an individual, empower myself?
Okay. You know what? Let me take you through my story, whereby when I joined the company in 2011, whereby I started as a sales consultant. And, you know, when you are positive and then looking forward to learn, you learn each and every day. So that's what I did, whereby I've learned from each individual from where I've been working, from the branch, from managers, from consultants, and I was promoted to a cashier, from cashier to a branch manager, from different branches, and area manager within different provinces, now key account manager, which means you need to make sure that you learn every day. Through learning, you can be empowered.
Awesome. And with learning comes having the right information. Now, when it comes to finances, you need to know exactly who you are in the money scale. And that comes with knowing the different personalities. By the way, I had no idea that there were different money personalities. But Lerato is here today, and she's going to tell us exactly how many and how they affect our finances.
Well, you know, we all have a personality. Whether you know it or you don't know it, you all have that personality. So when we're talking of money personalities, basically, we're talking about your character around money, how you handle finances when you have and when you don't have finances. So there's various personalities. I mean, I'm sure most of us started as being the avoider. So the avoider basically, you know, when you receive that banking notification that said money came out from your account, and you just quickly swipe left. You don't want to see. We all started there. We avoid. We don't even want to use the budget and all of those things. It's very possible, you know. But then,
actually, sorry to feel that in Blue Oceans, obviously people who haven't paid their debt, they all avoid us.
right.
They want to pay nothing. They don't want to take calls, and I want to read any message.
Exactly, and what causes that in most cases is that the lack of information, right? I think as people in general, we lack that financial education. I mean, if it was maybe taught from an early age or something, then I think all of us would be at that stage where we can manage our finances accordingly. But then there's various, like I said, money personalities. We all started as an avoider, but once you reach a certain stage, you can become a money master. And when you're now a money master, that's when now you are able to balance the two. You are able to save well, you are able to also spend accordingly. Right, but there's more. I don't want to share everything now.
There's more.
Right? There's
Oh
more.
gosh.
There's more.
Okay, before we get back to the more, I actually want to touch on what you said, right? Knowing your money. And that comes with knowing your credit. I want Lesego today to explain what credit repair is, because I don't know if you guys have heard it before, but I have, and it's actually quite enlightening. So Lesego, please explain what credit repair is and what we need to do in order to become financially free.
Thank you, Mobile. With credit repair, we, as you said, we assist people to actually repair their credit reports. As this month, it's Women's Month. You know, I think it's a topic whereby we don't put enough emphasis on women. We don't encourage women because I believe as women we need to encourage each other.
Yes.
We need to be compassionate to each other. We need to be kind to the next woman. So with credit repair, we get a lot of applications. If I may redirect the topic, we get a lot of applications whereby I can see that a lot of women are financially challenged. So you see that each and every day you will get an application whereby the client is overcommitted, is over indebted. She is not actually coping with the situation which she's actually challenged with. So I think with our department we can reach out, we can educate women on how to actually manage their financial statuses or challenges that they are having. So with that being said, we actually get a lot of applications for women who are actually, most of them, under debt review. So I think they have the wrong idea or the end of it, whereby they're being told that if you are financially challenged, you cannot actually manage your finances. The easiest way is to get into debt review. That's totally wrong. I think the best way to do that is to actually go to all your creditors, negotiate with them that, you know what, month end I'll be able to pay 200. Stick to that plan instead of taking the easy way out, whereby it's the worst actually. Because by debt review you are actually limited to how you can live, limited to how you can get help, financial help. So with debt review you won't be able to get credit assistance because your profile will then be showing the flag for debt review. So automatically when they see that flag, they won't assist you.
It blocks you.
It blocks you from everything. It blocks you from getting any financial assistance from any credit provider. So
But
it's very
remember, Lesego, sorry, when a person goes under debt review, most of the people, they get information that debt review is debt consolidation. Is that right?
You know, with that being said, yes, you are correct, Confidence. They are being told that debt review is debt consolidation. So what happens is, irrespective of whether it's debt consolidation, remember what happens is that as you as Confidence, you would actually approach a debt counselor. It's a process whereby all your debts are then put into one, right? And then the debt counselor will pay on your behalf to the different credit providers. But month end, it's whereby you as Confidence will then pay a certain amount to the debt counselor.
Where would one find a debt counselor?
debt counselors are everywhere.
Yes.
They are everywhere.
They are.
So you find them online, they are there. Actually, they are everywhere. So it's easy. They even approach you as an individual. I would be walking around town, maybe doing my own things, shopping and whatnot. They would actually come to me, you know what, we work so and so, we are from this company, we can assist you to manage your finances, you know? Yeah.
And within Blue Oceans, we often deal with many debt review applications.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
So we find that there's people and branches of specific financial institutions who actually target people who go to a Letsatsi branch or another, you know, and say, we know you took out a loan, can you really afford everything, you know, that kind of thing.
Yes,
and I think what consumers, people who take out loans don't realize is that the debt counselors take fees up front. And your first installment, even second installment, they take everything. And then only your creditors start getting money. And they don't realize this. And you know, it's a trap because
it's a big trap
they don't understand.
Yes, because they don't understand the whole narrative of it, of saying that should you be under debt review, I cannot per se I want to buy a car.
Even once you've rehabilitated, people always in any kind of agreement ask, were you under debt review? So it's always like a little bit of a flag even when you got a clearance certificate.
And yes, Marinda, as you were saying, that the flag actually, even if it's removed on your profile, so even after it's always there. It always carries with you wherever you go. So as an individual, as a woman, you know, bati watintumfazi, watintumbogoto. So in as much as the saying goes, you know, you strike a woman, you strike a rock. We need to empower each other. Like as Confidence said, we need to empower each other. We need to, you know, educate each other daily. It should not be only in this month, but it should be carried each and every day.
I agree with you completely. And reaching out to a credit repair for me is like the final step, but there are steps that we can take to ensure that we don't have to contact a debt counselor, right? And that's steps to becoming financially free. Marinda, could you elaborate on what financial freedom is and those steps that we can take to ensure that we are free financially?
Obviously we all get into trouble at some point. You know, we make mistakes, we none of us are perfect. And I feel sometimes as women, the matriarch of a home, of a family, of a community even, we feel pressure to be able to have to look after everybody else. Which means you get money from here and from them, from there, to try and sort everyone else. Then you sit with the trouble. But I find that, and most of you have already said, that education is very important. No one can ever take knowledge away from you. So if you educate yourself and you have knowledge, it'll help you to make better decisions about your future credit. Even though once you're in the problem, in the situation, and you have credit you have to deal with, speak to, like Lesego said, speak to your creditors. Have a chat and say, I only have this much. I'm trying to pay off all my debt. I want to pay you this much, this much, this much. As debt collectors, it's very rare for people to phone you and say, hey, I want to pay you. You know, because you're always like, obviously, following up on your finances.
99% of the time they hardly.
Because we're running away from it. Like, we're just so afraid to talk to someone.
So be bold. You know, women, I think we forget sometimes, but we're good at it. Be bold, be fearless, you know, and that will bring you to freedom. Because as much as you face your situation, as much as you face, I'm owing 50,000 Rand altogether, how am I going to sort this out? Education, you know, there's so many resources online, institutions like Letsatsi Finance.
I think sometimes it's the lack of knowledge. Like we tend to limit ourselves because we are maybe scared of asking or reaching out to the next person. We are scared of being judged at the same time. That maybe it's because I can't afford myself or I'm financially challenged. Now the next person is going to think that maybe I was being reckless when coming to mine.
But you know what? I agree with you. But then realizing I need help is actually empowerment. You know, and then that leads to freedom. And what you touched on as well is very important, where we need to communicate with each other and within our community network. Hey, what worked for you? What worked for you?
Yes,
Can
true.
we all work together? You know, I know people do like stockpile things and that kind of thing. Like, let's all put money into a pool, and at the end of whenever period, we buy this or we buy this, or everyone gets a turn type of thing. You know, those kind of conversations. Because I feel that it's more, women are able to speak more openly.
Exactly.
And let's do it about finances as well. You know, let that help us towards getting freedom. When we have a goal, you know, obviously it's once you have knowledge and power, knowledge and education, you can set clear goals. You want to achieve dreams. We all have dreams. And most of the time, sometimes you want to be like, la-di-da dreams. But you need money to make your dreams come true. Do you want a little side hustle? Do you want at some point your own business? How are you going to get there? Do you want to make sure your kids, regardless of whatever happens from now to when they have to, can they go to varsity? How do you prepare for that? When one day you need to retire, do you have enough money? Or would you need to depend on someone else to be able to help you? Your husband, your
it's
partner,
all about
your
educating
kids.
each other.
Precisely. And then having goals and being strict with yourself.
Discipline.
And that discipline is so important. I agree with you. And obviously having those set clear goals helps you to know that, okay, this month, before you do anything else, you put money aside for paying your debts, like we said, for your retirement, for your kids' education fund, that kind of thing. And when you're in trouble, when you need a bigger extra cash, be careful how much you're going to borrow, what you spend that on, and then make sure that you're able to pay it back.
Exactly, Marinda. You know, when you're not financially able to do things, people need to educate themselves better and get training, especially when it comes to needs and wants. You know, when you empower yourself in terms of knowing what you need and what you want, and then you can make better decisions. Because sometimes people do not have ability to pay back those loans that they take in from different financial service providers. You know, black tax also. It's on. You know, because people are not able to say no. You know, that thing. So if you empower yourself also, you are able to know that I must say no this time. You know the budget now. You've reached your limit, you know. So we need to be acting that way, financially wise, you know.
Precisely, confident. Because I often find that we compare ourselves to
Exactly.
people around
Quite
us.
a lot.
Who are the Joneses and why do we want to be like them? Let's ask
The Joneses.
what does it make? What everybody else is doing. If you are able to look after your family, yourself, and you have these goals, you feel
I think
empowered.
we also have that pressure of trying to fit in. You know the syndrome. Abantu bazothini syndrome. It's killing most of our women. So if we can just focus on what you have and what you are doing, the end goal.
The end goal. Okay, I have a question, actually, something that I wanted to ask you earlier on, Lerato. What is a money hoarder?
Oh, interesting one. So have you ever seen the show Hoarders?
Yeah, I think I have.
I actually wanted to say a joke, but I don't know if you're gonna get the joke. So Hoarders, you remember that saga where there was somebody hiding money under the bed, and it was now public knowledge? I don't want to say who.
Yes,
I'm sure
but
you all know who
yeah, we
that
picked up. I picked it up.
So yeah, hoarders basically are those kind of people. So they are more content when they are saving. So their strategy or their motive in life is to save. They don't believe in like giving out the money. They believe in hoarding the money. Save. It has to be here all the time.
But I mean, if you're like me and you like shoes, that's not practical. So what is a more practical personality for someone who does save, invest, but also likes to look good? So will splash a little here and there.
So with personalities, you as an individual will have various personalities or different personalities that you relate to. So it depends on which month probably, or it depends on what state you are currently financially or in life basically. So if you're a spender, you have that spender personality, which basically talks about you liking to spoil yourself and also spoiling the people around you. But when you're now at that point where you find the balance, then you're now a money master. So a money master, as I've mentioned before, is when you now find a balance between spending and saving. So you are very much careful on your spending, and you're also very careful on like saving some for a rainy day. There's more though.
Please touch on one additional one before I move on. I'm very interested in this. So go ahead.
There's more. So far I've mentioned like about 3, 4. You also have your collector. So money collector, I'm sure we are all collectors. So money collectors, basically, they are more content when they've got more money in their savings. They're more like hoarders, but they do spend. However, they're not spending on unnecessary items, right? So they are content, basically, when they've got more money to save and invest.
I feel like my husband is there. So I know this is all about empowering women, but you know, sometimes we have to learn also from people around us.
Yeah.
Whether it be husbands
That's
or
right.
not. I mean,
That's right.
You know, we don't have to be that empowered that we can't see who else can actually help us to become fearless, to be empowered, to have freedom. You know, use resources around you.
Sure, and it all goes back to, you know, when Confidence said this, when you teach a woman, you are teaching the nation, right? So when you're empowering a woman, you are actually empowering the whole nation. So when you are giving this information now to a woman to say, look, it's all about changing the money mindset, because remember, with finances, it all goes back to how you were raised around money. So if when you were still raised, you were like money was not it was a no-go issue or a no-go area, then obviously when you grow up as well, because that's what you picked up from your parents or from whoever that was raising you, you know, you're also going to grow up like that. But if at home probably they were saving for you, they introduced that saving method, you'll better understand. You'll also grow up wanting to save. So it all goes back to enforcing or teaching our young ones. It's a family thing. You cannot say I'm all good. I'm all good. No. It's a family thing. It's a community thing. It's a whole world thing. The whole world is facing a crisis where financial literacy is lacking. You know, it's not just a South Africa thing.
You're right. Actually, it brings to mind some lyrics that Jay-Z has in one of his songs. If you're the only one who's rich around you, you're just poor. You know what I mean? And I actually want to ask you, do you have any advice, as I'm about to ask a whole lot of questions now, do you have any advice to someone who feels, you know, under a lot of financial stress? How do they empower themselves, firstly, to try and encourage themselves to get out of any financial situation?
Okay, as I said before, that we need to take in account of black tax, because if you are under that impression of impressing other people, also you are gonna be over indebted, not knowing, because at the end of the day, it will never balances. Yeah, you need to make sure that you empower yourself to understand your spending, to understand your budget, to make sure that you make proper decisions. You know, when you are looking forward to buy a house and now you are over indebted, you will never get a house. Sure. And if maybe in finances you have never invested money, you have nothing that you're saving for the kids to go to school in future. And if you don't educate yourself from as little as maybe putting aside 100 rand for the kids, you'll never get there. So the best advice I'll give is that let's try to put aside 50 rand if it's not much.
I mean, 50 rand is more than enough for some people, so I would think that would make sense. Yeah, and unlearning bad habits as well is such a tricky thing. You mentioned childhood, and some of us didn't grow up in a household where we were taught how to save money, taught how to invest, and we just know that there's bread here and you must spend here and here and here and here and here. So Miranda, I wanted to ask you, with regards to raising our kids as women, what can we teach our children now so that they themselves don't have to have the conversation that we're having right now?
You know what, I think, and Lerato touched on it just now. If you teach someone to fish, you know, they'll be able to live. But I feel like if you teach a woman to fish, she can feed her household, the village, the community. You know, it's not doesn't just stay there. So I think obviously we have to lead by example. With our children, we have to show them how to use the money, how to save money, how to spend money. You have to have a conversation continuously.
Exactly.
And you know, they have to learn from how we do. And I think that is obviously the best way that all of us learn. But also we have to, when your children get older and so forth, and even us, when I was a much younger woman, we as adults have to responsibility then to educate ourselves and to then make decisions for ourselves. You know, we have to also not be stuck in a situation where we're like, oh, my mom never taught me this, or my kid saying, but mom, you did this wrong, or you did that. Yes, I wasn't perfect, or whatever kind of thing, but you are empowered.
But you have the opportunity to
you
change
have
things.
information. You have education. Make better choices. You know, that type of thing. I think that is very important, to become free from whatever happened in the past, from stigmas, from however. And I think you said also personality types change as you learn more about money. And, you know, so leave this behind, and try to always
move
be
forward.
better. Exactly.
Try to move forward. That's correct. Letsatsi, I actually wanted to ask you to just elaborate on specific steps on how to firstly contact a debt collector, what it is that you do then to help a client get out of debt.
Okay, thank you, Nobile. So what happens on our side is that to actually assist the client to get out of debt review, they would normally send in their application. So their 3 months bank statement, their latest payslip, and their ID copy. So we then gather the information that was sent to us, we analyze the information, and then what we do on our side is that we have a service provider that we work with. Then we take the application, we send it to the service provider, and then she will then analyze the application. She will then take further steps as to saying, is there anything that needs to be done on his side? So what they normally do, they would then call the previous debt counselor. So they need what? They need the transfer. Remember, they need to transfer the client from the previous debt counselor to the in-house. Yes, to the in-house. And then after getting the approval from the previous debt counselor to our in-house, that's when then the process will proceed. They will check the application and how they can assist the client, gather all the invoices, call the different creditors as to saying, find out how much the client is owing on the previous debt counselor's accounts, how much she's left with. Is it possible for them to actually settle, do settlements on those accounts? But if it's not possible, then they then take another step as to saying, can we actually remove the flag but leave out those accounts? Remember, they are able to actually remove just the debt review flag and not issue a clearance certificate.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's actually what happens. But if a client is still paying and has outstanding debts with the previous debt counselor and they cannot settle, then they will actually take that step of just removing the flag on the credit profile. And if the client actually was able to pay the previous debt counselor or the creditors, that's when they are able to actually issue a clearance certificate.
A clearance certificate.
Yes.
And how long does this process take from start to finish?
Well, it depends.
Okay.
It depends. It varies from client to client. It actually depends on how quick they are able to get hold of the creditors and the debt counselor. So we normally give an estimation of 3 to 6 months in clearing the client.
3 to 6 months in clearing the client.
Yes.
And
yes.
after clearing,
and it can even be less than 3 months.
But it also depends on the client itself,
it
right?
depends on the
And
client
after you
itself.
receive the clearance letter, can you immediately get credit, or is there like some waiting period or cool off period where you just need to wait, just a little bit?
No, I outding policies.
No, no, but responsibly.
Yes.
You buy
Yes,
responsibly.
Yes. So right, Margie, you are okay now. You
yeah.
can actually get credit assistance. So you can go to wherever you need assistance from, then they will assist you because the flag is not showing anymore. Yes, the credit bureau has actually cleared the flag.
Okay, so say someone has been cleared and then they do something irresponsible, which I'm hoping is not one of you all, and then gets themselves back in the situation. Can that service still be provided to them afterwards? Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure, just in case there is someone out there who's been through it and is fearful of the fact that they can't go back.
So actually, just to add more, with credit repair, we've got a lot. We do not only, I was just picking up debt review because a lot of people are under debt review, but we've got administration, people who are under administration, we've got judgments, we've got adverse accounts, but I'll just pause on that.
No, you're not going to pause on that. I need you to explain the judgment portion and the administration. Please explain those two first.
Administration, remember when a client or a court declares a person that this person is under administration, it will actually, it's different from debt review whereby there's just a debt counselor somewhere around in Centon, you understand? But with administration, it's a court process whereby the client is declared insolvent. You understand? So it will then be taken through by the court, assessing the credit balances or outstanding balances of the client, and in that process negotiating with the creditors on how they can pay on behalf of that client each and every month. And then the client will only make a single payment to the debt counselor.
Okay.
Each and every month. Yes. Yeah. But at the same time, remember that the administrator has reconciled all the debts, outstanding debts of the client, in saying, okay, fine, you've got 5 outstanding accounts, then we will just reconcile everything, and you will just make a monthly installments to us or me as an administrator.
Okay. Is that the same as a judgment, or is the judgment a separate story?
It's a separate story. A judgment, remember, with us credit repair, we assist clients who have paid up judgments, not outstanding judgments. So immediately if you are analyzing a client's credit report and you see that the client has a judgment, then you ask the client if it's paid up, then credit repair can assist the client in removing the judgment on the credit profile.
Okay, I hear you there. And I actually just want to go back to the steps of financial freedom. I'm not sure if you mentioned exactly if there are any steps, what they are, and if you could help us there, please go for it.
I think I started, and then we continued with the conversation. Is obviously educate yourself, and once you're in a position where you need to be paying back debt, speak to your creditors. Make a plan to be able to pay back every month. Make sure that you save a bikkie. You have to save some money. I think if Lerato might say nyana, you have to save a bikkie. I'm sure, at least a little bit. And you have to try and save for some emergency fund. You have to have, for any emergency occurs. There's always something that happens. And then obviously you have to be, I think, patient with yourself. True. And you have to be confident. You have to need confidence. and you have to know that it's a process. It's not an overnight story. So you have to be persistent. You have to be patient with yourself. That kind of thing. But be clear. Take your steps 1, 2, 3. Once you have your plan, do not waver. True. Be confident, continue, be bold, and make sure that you understand why you're doing this, and what your financial freedom will mean for you, for your children, for your family, for your community. So if you have the goal of financial freedom the whole time, you'll be able to do monthly step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to be able to get there at some point.
And just to add on that, Marinda, as Marinda is busy saying this, I'm thinking of, most of us don't acknowledge where we are currently, and which is what sets us back. If you acknowledge where you are currently, like, okay, fine, now I'm drowning. Acknowledge, yes, I'm drowning, but what am I going to do better so that I get out of that situation? So, because we want to compare ourselves with the next person and be like, oh, but Ngobile's life is so perfect. Oh, but Ngobile's, it doesn't work like that. Acknowledge where you are first and be like, okay, fine, now I'm taking steps. And you can apply those steps to financial freedom.
Yeah, and Lerato, also, women need to be able to take themselves and put themselves into other people's shoes. When you see that you're drowning into debts, you need to downgrade. Downgrade. If maybe your kids
come on, I need the shoes.
Because whenever you think what people are going to say about maybe taking your kids off private schools because you can't afford anymore, you need to take them to public schools.
Most of the women suffer because of the syndrome. Understand? So we end up making or taking the wrong choices.
True. No, but guys, if I want to look good all the time, why can't I just look good and be on credits? Come on.
You want to be look good. You want to be fearless? Do you want to be empowered? Do you want to be free?
I mean, I can pretend to be free with a little bit of dance. No?
Get there first. and
So
think
when you're
straight
going
on
with the
those
notion,
things.
fake it until you
Fake
make
it until you make it, child. I'm gonna walk around here looking like with my Louis Vuitton, but it's still in credit.
But you need to balance. You need balance. You need
Yeah.
to balance.
Yeah.
You know, it's not an easy thing whereby you don't know where to go when you come from work. When you knock off, you know, you need to have a place to stay. And if maybe your house, it's about to be maybe
Repossessed.
exactly my point.
Hectic.
So if you don't make good decisions in life, then you are gonna end there. So you rather step by step start saving, start working on your budget. You know, it's easy to say than doing, especially when it comes to finances. You know, when we talk about finances, it's something very difficult. We are never told about how to save, you know. But whenever you grow up, as Lerato said, you need to change. You know,
Adapt to change.
Yes, you have kids looking after you.
We don't have to be afraid of change.
Yes.
Again, you know, be open to it, type of thing.
Exactly.
And that empowers you also.
Sure.
You know,
Exactly.
knowing that you can, that you want to, that there's a better way to do things.
You know, another thing I think is because of most of our people. Okay, I'll take women because it's Women's
Yes,
Month.
please.
Yeah.
They are illiterate. So immediately, like for instance, someone approaches you, umuntu approach her saying, you know what, I can take you out of, I can help you with the situation, hence you are financially challenged. I can actually, you know, sum up your
And be very convincing
yes,
as well.
and be very convincing at the same time. But remember, I understand the language.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
So she will eventually give in because of she's thinking, okay, fine, I think. But she doesn't have the facts and the knowledge.
Yes, so you come into my another point whereby you know, when you are you have financial freedom. It's easy for you to make those financial decisions.
Sure.
But if you don't have, you know, you have that syndrome of people need to approve you.
Yes.
You know, you don't have self-confidence to make decisions. So it's easy, as I'm saying, that it's easy to say than doing. So if you empower a woman, you're empowering the whole community.
Yeah.
And just to add on that confidence, we do offer those services as well to empower women. So we've got various courses that we offer, and we do this in various ways. We do this. You can do this in the comfort of your own home or office, if you prefer, or we can even come to your premises. You know, for companies, we do go to their premises and we do that, and we make it so fun because you know, when you speak of finances, it's a very sensitive topic, right? So you need to make people feel so comfortable around you and like talking about their finances. So we make it so fun to talk about. You know, it doesn't have to be a stressful thing because we stressed every day about finances. So we make it so fun. So we do also provide that service as well.
Confidence, where do we go to get the information to be empowered? Because I hear a lot of we need to be, but where do we go? I think a lot of women are afraid, firstly, to do anything about it, but they also don't know. Should they not be afraid and want to do something, but where do we go?
Okay, we start from here. As we're sitting like this, we are empowering ourselves. There are some things that Miranda said I didn't know about. Also, Lesoro said a lot about things that I don't know. And also, Lerato said a lot about savings and spending, which I never knew about. I think it starts within a person to start learning on a daily basis. We can be assuming that Ngobile is doing better, but not knowing Ngobile's background. But it's better if I learn how Ngobile is doing it.
Sure.
No.
I think also www.letsatsi.com.
Yes, I love it. Ladies, I think I don't know if you have any other things that you might want to share that's impressing on you, but I think I've learned so much already just knowing how to get out of debt, and the conversation of not being afraid to make that first step for change. I think that's the biggest thing, because otherwise you stay in the little black hole you're in and dig that hole much deeper for yourself over and over and over and over. You know, Confidence, you mentioned black tax, and I want to bring in a situation that I've been in myself, where there was a funeral and it turned out the individual who passed on did not have a funeral policy. I'm not sure what happened there, because last I checked they did. So a family member had to go get a loan to pay for the funeral expenses, and this family member was a woman. Again, bringing back the whole literally the world is riding on a woman's shoulders. Can you just elaborate on funeral policies?
Yeah, as I said before, that black tax, when it comes to funerals, us as black, people will think it's Lifula Haulam Pidisa, but it's not. Unfortunately, we need a policy in place, because if you do not have a policy in place, even if maybe you are covered, you at least cover those people. Maybe you have a family member that is not working at home, at least, and maybe the person is single. Maybe at least if you can take as little as 92 rand from Letsatsi Finance, we do have a policy like that, whereby you are only a payer. So it's better to do that. Otherwise, you'll have to go and accumulate more debts and more debts. What if that amount is not enough for the cow? What if it's not enough for the coffin? What is not enough, So now in our policy has that Nkomo as an additional value. You just add as little as 50 rand on top. So also it also has free legal advices, legal assistance. So it's more on it. So even at time, I'm just speaking in general, not going into details, but
even maternity benefits.
Exactly. Yeah, I still remember 2020. I went on maternity benefit. I received 3,000 rand. Yes. So it's better to have something in place than run around when the need is.
Yes. So is the funeral policy a separate product that we can provide? Or can it be also part of the loans? Because Letsatsi Finance does provide loans.
It's separate. Because, it's another product whereby even if you don't have a loan, you can have a policy just to cover yourself for in future.
Awesome. I heard you saying that you have your own policy as well. So in your department, I know you mentioned a little bit in the introduction, but what exactly do you do in your department?
I'm a key account manager, whereby I deal with our key partners. Key partners, I'm talking about external companies that we do have agreement with. We call them stop orders. So we go out and initiate stop orders because in these days financial status of the people can't afford to pay anymore. So now we are bringing in stop order versus debit order, whereby now at least it's better that you're going to get your money before it's been used.
It's guaranteed.
To the bank. Yes, so now a person, not a person, it can be an individual, but we approaching companies whereby we introduce stop order deduction, where there is more benefits when we use that. Because sometimes, on the 25th or month end, or even today, some people didn't go to work because they went out to accumulate more debts because they are short, And what we do is we can also come to your premises whereby we can work from there if we have that stop order in place, so that we avoid that kind of absenteeism at work. Yes.
Okay, awesome. So, Lerato, I want to also touch on the fact that you said you guys can also go to companies. What exactly is it that you're doing, and which company is this?
So, the company that I represent today is called iFESA. So, iFESA is an accredited training provider, accredited with the services CETA. So we offer financial wellness, basically. We strictly specialize in financial wellness.
So this is where the money personalities come in. You're teaching us about that, yeah.
Yes, so we go around teaching people about the money personalities. We cover a lot. We cover the financial jargon, because most of our people get lucid into these things because they don't understand the jargon. Like your debt consolidation, your debt review, they think it's the same thing, so we explain that in detail. What is this? And then they can have that knowledge. So when they receive that SMS, you mentioned earlier that how does one get hold of a debt counselor? You get SMSs on a daily. They send you an SMS and say, consolidate your debts. And you're thinking, you consolidating your debts? Nah, child, you're not consolidating your debts. You are agreeing to go under debt review. So, we teach people about such things, that how do you avoid being financially scammed? We explain how do you now access your credit report. How do you assess it? How do you know what contents are in your credit report? We go deeper, and we offer this in various ways, as I've mentioned before. So you do that virtually, so we can do virtual sessions for the employees that are unable to leave the office. We do that also going to the premises, where it's gamification. It can be like face-to-face session where it's like hardcore content sharing. We do it in various ways, and we do this with companies as well that approach us, and we also approach companies as well. So financial wellness is
The way to go.
Clearly. And Letsatsi, how do we get a hold of your department? Because I know we've talked extensively about credit repair, but how do we get a hold of your department for any assistance?
So with credit repair, you can contact us through our email, which is creditrepair@letsatsifinance.co.za.
That's credit repair at letsatsifinance.co.za.
Yes. Or you can call us on 011 802 4073.
Thank you so much. Are there any additional services besides what you've already mentioned that you guys offer?
I think I have mentioned quite a lot of them. So yeah, I think I've covered what I needed to cover with regard to credit repair. I just hope people will not deprive themselves from getting help, because the more you talk, the more the next person will be able to know how she can assist you.
Yeah, you can help each other get out of any sticky situations.
So do not be scared or afraid or intimidated as to asking and seeking help whenever you feel like you are sinking. Yeah, because we live in a very tough economy, so we need to actually extend ourselves, seek help whenever we feel like we need help.
Yeah. Marinda, what is your role in BOC? And also just say what BOC is as the acronym.
Sure. Blue Ocean Collection Services, better known as BOC. We actually, like I said before, mandated to collect on delinquent debt for Letsatsi Finance, and we also deal with the debt review applications and so forth. I'm the company manager, so we offer debt collection services, not just to Letsatsi but other clients as well. So we're open to obviously engage with credit providers, anybody who is struggling to collect any debt. We can tailor make solutions to help the company but also help the consumers who are in trouble, because we want them to be free. Freedom, financial freedom. I beg your pardon. So we have our website is blueoceancs.co.za. Anybody is welcome to contact us through the website. We can offer those kind of services. Letsatsi can attest to how well we collect our debt.
Yeah, I can attest to that. I've seen those numbers.
If I may ask, is there a point whereby you are unable to collect?
No.
No, we're not making that option available. No is the answer.
Various payment plans, various options, various solutions
So you
for a
make it a
consumer.
point that
We
you
make
are
it a
able-
point to offer a solution for that consumer to be able to pay their debt. For the company to be happy how we do it, obviously, to communicate with their clients so that they come back in future to that credit provider, to Letsatsi. But no, they pay. They have to make a plan. We help them make a plan.
So with that said, I would like to thank you very much for your time, your insights, and your stories. I think we've been empowered here today to make better financial decisions. So we're not finding ourselves in credit, unnecessary credit, and knowing and understanding who we are and our personalities are in monies. And I'm hoping that those who are listening and watching today feel the same way as I feel. Now, if you would like to join in on this conversation, do follow us on Facebook. Share your story, your success story, any other story that you may have. And remember to hashtag financially fearless women. And for more solutions, stuff that we may have or have already mentioned, please visit our website, www.letsatsifinance.co.za. And with that, I am so grateful we had this conversation. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful, beautiful, amazing, prosperous Women's Month.